Floyd "Money" Mayweather, the man who turned boxing into a billion-dollar personal ATM, who counted $100 bills on Instagram while sitting on private jets, now has the IRS placing a legal claim on his Las Vegas properties. Over $7.3 million in unpaid taxes. The government filed that lien, and the balance remained unpaid. And this is not even close to the first time Floyd and the taxmen have gone to war. So, let's start from the beginning. Business Insider broke the story that rocked the sports world. The IRS had filed a $7.3 million lien against famed boxer and entrepreneur Floyd Mayweather Jr. for unpaid taxes. The lien was filed in Las Vegas, where Mayweather has property. The notice showed the balance was unpaid. Now, let's be clear about what a tax lien actually is. A tax lien is essentially the government's legal claim against your property when you neglect or fail to pay a tax debt. It protects the government's interest in all your property, including real estate, personal property, and financial assets. In simple terms, the federal government is saying, we own a piece of everything you have until you pay us. An attorney for Mayweather declined to comment on the lien, which allows the government to lay claim to Mayweather's property until the bill is paid. And here is where the context starts to get heavy. Mayweather's debt to the IRS is just the latest financial problem for the now-retired fighter, who generated more than $1 billion of revenue during his Hall of Fame career but became infamous for flaunting his wealth. We are talking about a man who at his absolute peak was the highest-paid athlete on the planet. Over the course of his career, he has generated over $1.1 billion in career earnings. His nickname is literally "Money." He built his entire brand around wealth. The cars, the jets, the mansions, the bricks of cash. Mayweather, whose nickname is Money, flaunts a lavish lifestyle of mansions, designer clothing, private jet flights, and BA. But this $7.3 million lien is not some isolated incident. For anyone who has followed Mayweather's career, this headline might feel a bit like déjà vu. Floyd fought Manny Pacquiao in what became the highest-grossing pay-per-view event in boxing history. Mayweather fought multiple times on Showtime PPV, with the Pacquiao bout still standing as the highest-grossing pay-per-view in history, with millions of purchases and hundreds of millions in revenue generated. Mayweather reportedly earned around $250 million for that fight alone. And yet, the undefeated fighter has a long-documented history of tangling with the IRS. Mayweather famously owed the IRS over $22 million for his taxes. That is the same year he made roughly $250 million. He still did not pay his taxes. When the IRS demanded payment, Floyd's legal team responded that despite having substantial assets, his wealth was primarily illiquid. They promised to pay the bill in full following a significant liquidity event. That event was his massive payday against Conor McGregor. So Floyd essentially told the United States government, hold on. I have got a fight coming up. I will pay you after. And to his credit, he did. That McGregor fight generated an estimated $300 million for Mayweather. He used that purse to settle the tax bill. Problem solved for a while. Then came more tax problems. A U.S. tax court judge ordered Mayweather to pay millions in tax deficiencies plus over $1 million in penalties. That is right. The same year he fought McGregor and used that payday to settle the earlier bill, he apparently did not properly handle his taxes that year either. That is millions the courts told him to pay. And now, another $7.3 million. This is the latest in a series of debts the fighter has accumulated. When you add it all up, we are talking about over $36 million in tax problems across roughly a decade. For a man whose entire public persona is built on having more cash than he knows what to do with, that pattern raises enormous questions. And those questions got a whole lot louder. To understand the full weight of this $7.3 million IRS lien, you have to understand when the entire financial scaffolding behind Floyd Mayweather's post-boxing empire started to tremble publicly for the first time. The saga began when a lengthy Business Insider investigation alleged that Mayweather was heavily leveraged, taking out high-interest loans against his real estate, facing foreclosures, and dealing with a growing list of unpaid bills. The investigation was exhaustive. According to the report, the authors reviewed public records, loan documents, lawsuits, and conducted interviews with current and former associates to paint a far more complicated picture of the man long known as Money Mayweather. And what that picture revealed was troubling. First, the loans. According to the report, Mayweather borrowed approximately $54 million over a roughly 12-month period from a billionaire specialty lender at an interest rate of around 9% to fund other ventures. The collateral Floyd put up for that $54 million included 14 residential homes, his Las Vegas strip club, and his jet. Almost every tangible asset the man had was pledged to a single lender. Experts cited by Business Insider noted that this type of borrowing structure carries elevated risk because a default could place multiple assets at risk simultaneously rather than one property at a time. The lender himself offered a fascinating window into Floyd's financial reality. Mayweather's wealth, the lender said, appeared largely anchored in the value of his personal homes. When the lender searched Mayweather's credit history, not much showed up. Think about that for a moment. A man who earned over $1 billion, and when a lender pulled his credit, there was almost nothing there. Then came the asset sales. A Business Insider investigation revealed that Mayweather has sold many of his trophy assets, including his private jet and mansions in Miami and Beverly Hills. His legendary Gulfstream G650, the one he dubbed Air Mayweather, the $60 million private jet that he used to photograph himself next to Louis Vuitton luggage and mountains of cash, gone. According to FAA records cited by the outlet, Mayweather sold the aircraft. The Business Insider report claims that 2 of Mayweather's commercial properties are currently facing foreclosure. Among them is his Las Vegas strip club, which is reportedly delinquent on back property taxes and penalties. And the lawsuits were piling up from every direction. 2 Miami-based jewelers have sued the boxing legend for millions combined for unpaid jewelry. The co-owners of a luxury duplex apartment in Midtown Manhattan, New York, have also filed suit against Mayweather for unpaid rent. Even the man who sold him a warehouse in Los Angeles ended up seizing it back. A businessman who sold Mayweather an LA warehouse for millions said he provided Mayweather with a loan to finance the purchase and that Mayweather defaulted on a deadline to pay off that debt. He initiated a foreclosure and seized the building, wiping out Mayweather's ownership and investment, records show. And Logan Paul entered the chat. Logan Paul recently accused Mayweather Jr. of owing him a significant sum from their fight, adding to speculation about Mayweather's finances. Paul claims the dispute stems from a side deal Mayweather arranged before the bout, alleging he used their combined star power to land an 8-figure payment from an international partner. Paul claims his contract guaranteed him a percentage of that deal, which he still has not received. Mayweather's response to the entire Business Insider investigation was forceful. Mayweather forcefully denied the claims and actively sued the publication and one of its reporters for defamation. The champion boxer who never lost a bout and boasts career earnings of more than $1.1 billion hit Business Insider and one of its reporters with a defamation lawsuit that seeks at least $100 million in damages. His attorney pushed back hard. Mayweather's attorney told Business Insider that borrowing against appreciated assets is a common practice among wealthy individuals and denied that the loans indicate financial distress, describing Mayweather as an ideal client. But while Floyd was fighting the narrative in one courtroom, he was about to open an entirely new front in another. Just weeks after the Business Insider investigation sent shockwaves through the sports and entertainment world, Floyd Mayweather threw what might be the biggest haymaker of his career, and it had nothing to do with boxing. Floyd went on the offensive, filing an explosive $340 million lawsuit against Showtime Networks. In that complaint, Mayweather alleged he was not experiencing financial strain due to his own spending, but rather because hundreds of millions of dollars from his career earnings had been secretly diverted into third-party accounts by his former manager. This lawsuit reframed everything. If you believe the Business Insider investigation, Floyd Mayweather was a man who burned through $1 billion through reckless spending and poor financial management. But if you believed Floyd's lawsuit, he was actually a victim. A man who had been systematically robbed by the people he trusted most during the most lucrative era of his career. The complaint filed in Los Angeles County Superior Court names Showtime Networks Incorporated and a former Showtime Sports president as defendants. Mayweather says he is owed at least $340 million and cites a complex web of hidden accounts, unauthorized transactions, and deliberate concealment of financial records as the reason he believes he has been defrauded of those funds. The allegations in the lawsuit are staggering in their specificity. The lawsuit alleges that instead of routing fight revenues directly to Mayweather, Showtime wired earnings to accounts controlled by his former manager and associates, including an account linked to Mayweather's tax attorney. In the suit, Mayweather points to banking records that show large transfers to companies controlled by the manager that were falsely labeled as repayment or loan payoff. Tens of millions of dollars, he says, were moved shortly after major fights. Other records show numerous one-off payments. These include large transactions on dates unrelated to any fight, with memos like expenses accompanying many of them. The complaint goes even deeper. To hide the stolen funds, the manager only showed Floyd certain documents to keep the boxer from learning the exact sums earned from fights. According to the complaint, on one occasion, the manager altered the date of a contract to misrepresent when it was signed. The suit says the Pacquiao fight, the single most lucrative bout in boxing history, was allegedly at the center of the scheme. The complaint claims that financial documents show inflated expense reimbursements charged against the Pacquiao revenue pool, including a massive payout for a different bout that was drawn from Pacquiao fight proceeds. Mayweather alleges that the Pacquiao revenue was used as a slush fund for unrelated costs. When Floyd's new management team tried to get to the bottom of where all the money went, they hit a wall. When his new management team requested detailed breakdowns for certain bouts, Showtime declined to produce them. The manager told Mayweather that the records were lost due to a flood in a storage facility. The suit alleges a flood, hundreds of millions of dollars in financial records, and the explanation was a flood. One of the more curious details in the entire affair. The manager, notably, is not named as a defendant. The man Floyd alleges actually orchestrated the scheme is not being sued. According to a matchmaker who discussed the lawsuit publicly, the reason is straightforward. The manager may have already settled privately. Showtime's parent company rejected the allegations outright. These baseless claims lack legal or factual merit, said a spokesperson. A former Showtime sports president expressed surprise. He said he had not seen the actual paperwork, only the reports, and called the situation a mystery in a lot of ways. But here is what matters for the IRS story. Mayweather says that he has suffered enormous financial harm and is missing at least $340 million from his reported $1.2 billion in career fight purses. If even a fraction of that is true, it begins to explain the pattern. The tax liens, the unpaid bills, the foreclosures. If Floyd genuinely believed he had hundreds of millions more than he actually did, the cascade of financial problems suddenly makes more structural sense than mere reckless spending. And yet, the IRS does not care about lawsuits between private parties. The IRS cares about one thing: what you owe. And Floyd owes $7.3 million right now. Lien filed. Properties targeted. A close associate of Floyd Mayweather Jr., who has been named a co-defendant in some of Mayweather's lawsuits, was resentenced to federal prison. The reason stems from a previous guilty plea in a public corruption case. The web around Mayweather's finances grows more tangled by the month. But as all of this plays out in courtrooms, Floyd has turned to the one arena where he has never lost, the boxing ring. With the IRS lien hovering over his properties, creditors circling, and lawsuits multiplying in every direction, Floyd Mayweather has responded in the most Floyd Mayweather way possible. He is fighting a lot. Despite retiring from professional boxing with a 50-0 record, the fighter has recently embarked on a highly lucrative comeback tour. And it is not just one fight. It is an entire slate of events designed to generate massive paydays in rapid succession. Alright everyone, stay tuned for the latest in boxing news, highlights, events, and stories. Subscribe to Legacy Round and turn on notifications so you never miss an update. Be sure to watch our other videos too. Until next time, take care and stay safe.